I didn't have a great weekend, and I explained that with the Arizona Cardinals thing. I didn't have a great weekend in terms of sports opinions. My personal weekend was fine, but I was wrong about Cliff Kingsbury. I was wrong about Jaden Daniels. This is just one of those ones where maybe I have to admit I was wrong. Now listen, it was one game for that being Nick Richards. But I got to be honest, he looked really good. And I know people will say that and look at the opponent and say the Pistons. Pistons were actually better than the Phoenix Suns going into that game. But seeing Nick Richards going up against Isaiah Stewart and company for the Pistons, Jalen Duran, 21 points, 11 boards, a double-double, defensively better with rotations. He just made everything go a lot smoother. I made fun of Suns fans, and I still do kind of believe this at least a little bit, that you didn't watch Charlotte Hornets football, and I can't really buy into that you did. I'm sorry, Charlotte Hornets basketball, and I can't really buy that you did. But oftentimes a lot of them would tell me they need Nick Richards. They need this guy. And I said, well, guys, Nick Richards is this backup big man on a really bad Hornets team. How good could he be? And I really held firm on that opinion. I thought he'd be an upgrade, but I didn't think he'd be this good right away. The only thing I can attest it to or relate it to is I didn't think the Phoenix Suns front court was this bad. Like, I thought it was bad. I thought it was the worst in the NBA. I am quoted saying that on Locked On Suns. I'm quoted saying that on numerous other things. But I got to be fair. It might even been worse than I thought. Because Nick Richards' ability to finish around the rim, basically just wide open around the basket, I mean, that's what you had to see. Finishing, rolling to the rim, defensively, rotations looked better defensively because players weren't compensating for Mason Plumlee's inability to roll over to the weak side and block a shot. So Nick Richards, I said it was more about raising the floor for this team, not raising the ceiling. Jimmy Butler is a raising the ceiling ad for the Suns. He's a star player. I still think defensively he can be pretty good. He adds a different mindset to this team, which I think this team still is lacking. A culture that Jimmy Butler can help with this team. But Nick Richards might have really showed just how bad this Suns front court truly is. Nurkic has never had a game where he was that dominant, not just on the boards, but around the rim. And seeing Nick Richards being able to do that for this team could change everything. It really could. Now, it's hard for me to say championship contender because I've been burned so many times saying that. But could this team, with 41 games left, half a season, somehow sneak into the playoffs? Maybe go get a Butler, and things do actually change for this team. I don't know. It feels a little bit like a pipe dream, but it doesn't feel emphatically impossible. But it's fair. It is a fair notion to, at this point, just be excited about what Nick Richards brings to this team, which is stability to the offensive rotation, finishing around the rim, and I did not expect him to immediately average a double-double. Maybe because of the gravity of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, what he's able to do around the rim. But the Suns play at 1:30 today. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Early start time. Really early start time. And if they win that game, I won't be completely floored. And it was kind of what I was saying on Locked On Suns a couple of days ago. A few days ago, I would have said there's no chance they win that game on Monday. But what Nick Richards gives is hope. Because of the gravity of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, they're just going to attract more players on them, defensively speaking. And with Devin Booker being on a real heater, Nick Richards has the ability to be the young front court guy, converting and ones, finishing around the rim, being fast on rotations, blocking shots, and being a true lob threat, he could change a lot about this Suns team. Championship contender? I'm not so sure about that. But making them a true top 4 seed, top 5 seed in the West, you could talk me into that after what I saw from Nick Richards. 21 points, 10 boards, a difference maker on the glass. Offensively, the offensive rebounds were not as bad anymore. And for a big team on the Pistons that's got Jalen Duran there, that's got Isaiah Stewart there, it was very impressive what I saw from Nick Richards. And they've got a game against the Cavs, and my whole idea is start him. Just start the guy. Just start the guy. We can't do this. You know, there was the report out there that Gambo was basically saying once he gets acclimated to the team, he will start. He's already acclimated. Start him. He's going up against Evan Mobley, Jared Allen and company today. It's a big Cavs team who's been playing really well offensively. You have to add Nick Richards to that fold. Mason Plumlee, Yusuf Nurkic, even Oso Ighodaro, probably not cutting it for this team. Start Nick Richards, put him out there. We'll see how he does. But overall, through one game, I didn't expect him to be this good, and he absolutely has been. And it really makes you think if they could swing a deal for a Jimmy Butler, and then you have Nick Richards, and you have this lineup of Butler, Booker, Beal, Jones, KD, and rotations and of Nick Richards and Nurkic. Like, you have this team then of Richards, Beal, KD, Booker, Jones, and Butler, and whatever it looks like. It does make you think that the Suns are a Butler away from being a true championship contender. And that's what upgrading the front court did. And it's why I told people at the beginning of the year, I told people last year, the point guard wasn't the issue for the Suns. Sure, would they want one? Monte Morris does fine. What they have to do is get bigger, and at the wing position, get better. And at the front court position, get better. And Nick Richards does that, and potentially Jimmy Butler does that. And after some of the reports we saw over the weekend, maybe all that does come to fruition. But Nick Richards adds to this team what we haven't had, and it feels like years. Hope. And that's what today is all about. Nick Richards potentially elevating the floor of this team, potentially beating a team like the Cavs, putting this team firmly in the playoff mix, and then at that point, we'll see. Everything could change. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Ben Garcia Show. Appreciate you guys making me a part of your day. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. To all of you sleeping in and going to watch this later, appreciate you guys doing that. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. And before you click away, do me a favor, hit the like button. I mean, listen, it helps me. I get up at 6 a.m., I give you some content, you give me a like, and then it just helps us all. So appreciate you guys making me a part of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, I will be at the Super Bowl. I'll be there at Super Bowl week. Let me know what any content you want to see of New Orleans. We'll see what we get up there. Maybe some good interviews. So either way, guys, I'm Benjamin Garcia. Until tomorrow, it's been the Ben Garcia Show.